Tonight's show is entitled Hardcore Dreamer in honor of the man we're going to bring in right now, bringing in the owner, and he's the owner, founder, promoter of House of Hardcore, ECW legend, soon to be, hopefully, WWE Hall of Famer, and former WWE superstar, none other than the man himself, Tommy Dreamer. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Was that intro good enough for you?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir, for coming on to our show tonight. I know you're a very busy man. Just want to let you know that House of Hardcore is coming up this weekend. You have two huge shows coming up this Friday and a Saturday. But first, talk to us about the upcoming event this Saturday that's here in Maryland, House of Hardcore 23.
It's my last show of the year, and happy to be coming to Maryland, Joppa, right outside of Baltimore. Check the weather; it's supposed to be not bad at all, just a little bit cold. And looking forward to coming down there. Wrestled there a bunch of times, and that's it. I got some big matches. I got John Hennigan, the former John Morrison, or the current Johnny Mundo of Lucha Underground, versus Phoenix from Lucha Underground. And I kind of look at these shows as a super bowl of independent wrestling, or guys who are not really signed to WWE.
Right.
I have Brian Cage, who works a lot in Lucha Underground, versus TNA's Moose. Jessica Havoc versus Talia Valkyrie. Jessica Havoc, former TNA knockout champion, and Talia Valkyrie is a big star in Japan and Mexico, as well as she works in Lucha Underground. And myself, and now a mystery partner, will take on the Spirit Squad, because WWE just pulled James Ellsworth on me, which I'm not happy about.
Oh, man.
So not only did James Ellsworth screw over Dean Ambrose, but he screwed over, and that's in a storyline, but he screwed me over for real. And I'm pretty pissed off about it.
Well, sounds like since everybody's writing out these lists, Tommy, of who they want to fight, Cody Rhodes made a list, Jay Lethal, I think, Tommy, because James Ellsworth screwed you over, I think you should make your own list of who to slap in the head with a kendo stick next. And I think James Ellsworth should be on top of that list. What would you say?
Yeah, he's on top. We also got Eddie Kingston, who's in TNA. The Double Duprees, who are from Baltimore. They'll be with Vic Delicious. Yes. Sanjay Dutt, a Brooklyn Brawler, and a Matt Striker, and a wrestling legend, pop culture icon, Kikutaro, who was the inventor of slow-motion wrestling. I don't know if you guys know that, but he'll be there, too.
Yes. Yes, great legend. He doesn't get the due that he deserves. Great to have that. We got to give a shout-out to our personal friend and professional friend, Monique Dupree, original guide, part of the Double Duprees. We definitely send our love. Since we all bought Tamorians, definitely send our love to her and, of course, to her daughter, Monet. And definitely want to check her out, check everything that she does in House of Hardcore. Just to ask you, Tommy, with you being, of course, the legendary wrestler that you are, if you can, talk to us about the transition that went from being a wrestler to actually now being a promoter of your own brand and owner.
I guess it was kind of the natural progression for myself. I did a lot of the behind the scenes in ECW, ran a lot of the shows, and then I also ran the WWE Developmental System, which is now NXT, and it was just kind of, I always wanted to do it, and I did it, and it was successful, and then I said only wanted to do one, and now we're up at, 23, you said? So
23, yes.
And, a lot of people ask me about the biggest, I would say, transition as a professional wrestler. I love breaking tables. I'll break a table every chance I get. And as a promoter, I'll say, crap, that just cost me $185, because tables are expensive.
Yes.
You think about it, I'm buying something just to break it, and that really pisses me off.
Well, since you love breaking tables so much, what about your household? Is there any tables in the household that you go through that end up breaking at home, or is it just for wrestling purposes?
No. Honestly, there's a lot of those tables. There's only one place that you can now buy them, and you used to be able to buy them at Home Depot, at other places, and now you really can't buy them because they all go with a plastic table. So there's only one company that sells regular wooden tables that you see, and they cornered the market on that. So, no, I have not. I broke in some chairs because my butt's getting bigger, but that's about it.
Well, with that, with House of Hardcore, there's, of course, a lot of indie promotions out here. What makes House of Hardcore different, and what makes it unique? Because one of the hardest things to do when you have so many promotions out here to make yourself stand out, which House of Hardcore does. What makes your brand different from, of course, WWE, the TNAs, the Ring of Honors, the New Japans, to Global Forces? What makes your brand different?
I want to say, one, my relationship has always been with the fans, and this was from the original ECW, I guess my work ethic, / always going out there and giving it my all, and I kind of put a team together that I want to see do that as well. What has separated me from, I guess, the pack, it has been the surprises and the, buzz that I've always gotten from all the shows, work rate. A lot of people don't realize I got to see some of the greatest things every 3 weeks at the ECW arena back in the day, as well as I would see stuff on live events that, even though I'm a wrestler and I'm in my own, feuds, whether it be with, Raven, Brian Lee, I got to see, Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio and Psychosis, and I miss that as a fan. I watched Monday Night Raw last night, and not to knock the product, there was one match that I was really intrigued with, and the rest was 3 hours of filler to me, and it was the main event. But I have, my slogan is no politics, no BS, just wrestling, and that's what I want to see. And so I guess maybe that's what has separated me from the pack of just, from top to bottom, you're going to see one hell of a wrestling card. And I don't put people on there because they're my friends. I don't put students or people on my show because they sell tickets. I put people on my show because they represent me, and their matches represent something that I want to see.
Thank you for that answer. You coming here to Maryland with Baltimore, Maryland being one of the most influential, biggest wrestling cities, with Chicago, Charlotte, so forth and so on. What are some of your memories of wrestling here in Baltimore and in Maryland in general?
Me personally, I had some great memories. When I was there for WWE as well, ECW we did actually only a handful of indies down there, in Maryland, Baltimore specific. I would probably say I got more memories from old school NWA or old school WWF. I remember when I really wanted Lex Luger to beat Ric Flair for the title, and he held him up in the torture rack, and here came the state athletic commissioner, and they called the match due to blood, which I was so mad as a fan. But, it's been an amazing wrestling town. I believe that's where, didn't Bruno Sammartino lose to superstar Billy Graham there? Or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, it was here at the old Civic Center.
A lot of history's been there, and for me, wrestling has been the most influential thing in my life. Everything I have is because of it, and I want some of my greatest memories with my father or my friends is just going to see wrestling, and I want those same memories for parents and kids and people just to be like, wow, I forgot about the real world for 3 hours, and I just saw a really kick-ass show.
Thank you for that. Now, with House of Hardcore coming up on Friday in Philly, which the first House of Hardcore event we went to 2 years ago was in Philadelphia. I believe it wasn't at the 2300 arena. It was at an Armory, and
right.
I know the Dudley Boys was there, and Danny Dorian and some other people. Great show. Do you feel more pressure when you have a show in Philly because of the history of ECW, or do you feel more relaxed because you're used to the fan base and used to the environment?
No, man. I don't ever want to say I feel the pressure, especially because that's me coming home. I was born in New York, but Tommy Dreamer was born in Philadelphia, and that building still has magic in it. I look forward to my show Friday night there, and then we're going to come down the highway and rock it the next night in Joppa, and I'm really excited to be a part Flow Slam, because it's I was negotiating hard and still am to try to find television for my company. So but now I have more eyes on my product through Flow Slam, and it's not just about needing television to get more eyes on your product. Now you can do it with other forms of media, like I have with Flow Slam.
And that was going to be our next question. A few fans was hitting me up today about it, is the future of a television deal for House of Hardcore, which we go, of course, being media in the business, we go to tons of indie shows and shows all around. And your show, we like to say, is a legit wrestling show. A lot of shows are just like Spot Monkey, so fast, it's like a car crash. There's no psychology, people doing backflips. All the matches are the same. But your show has a mixture of everything, and you can actually relax and understand what's going on. And I feel if your product gets to be on TV at some point, it will definitely be a difference in the alternative to what's already on TV.
Yeah, and I always say if I blew up tomorrow, I would never want to compete with WWE or compete with Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, TNA. I just want to show basically my vision of how I feel professional wrestling is, and it's a different vision. But when you come to my show, I want you to experience everything. I'm proud of them. I was proud of pretty much every one of our shows. Not everything is perfect, but it all kind of falls together. And I pick a team, and like I said before, I pick a team that I want to represent me, as well as that I feel that fans want to see. And, that's important to me. I will not do things that other people do just because I've seen a lot of mistakes made on the indies, as well as mistakes made. Not everything we did in the original ECW was great, but we had one hell of a legacy.
Yeah, that is true. Well, a couple more questions, Tommy, before we let you go. We know you're a very busy man. Is you got 23 House of Hardcores. Now, there was 35 Clash of the Champions. So what number would it be? A lot of times with sports, you have the letter, you have the number 23. Will you eventually go to the Roman numerals? Will you just keep going on and on with the number fan question?
Well, that's a good question, except for I really don't know how to do the Roman numeral thing. I think it looks good on I really just took it from UFC. That was great. I didn't even know about how many Great American Bash there are, but I'm all in. I turned down a huge financial offer to return back to WWE to see House of Hardcore go through, and I'm not stopping, no matter how many wrestlers. I also feel that House of Hardcore now has helped so many wrestlers go and get signed to WWE. It has bred life into people who have not, they've gotten a second or a third chance being with WWE or going to NXT, and I'm happy with that. I know a lot of people get mad. I remember back in the day, I personally used to get mad when guys would jump to WCW or WWE, but I'm actually happy about that because able for me to showcase more and more people. So I'm cool with that.
Just want to say, Tommy, I'm getting DM'd. For those that don't know, DM, that means direct message, because we do have a lot of fans that are older, just don't want to have them lost. A lot of fans are hitting me up now. I can't wait. House of Hardcore is going to be awesome. I can't wait until Saturday. Not going to mention names. I'm getting a lot of messages now and emails. For those, I have some friends that will be at House of Hardcore this Saturday. For the first-timers that's coming, that's never experienced HOH, if that's okay to say.
Yep.
What can they experience? What can they look forward to that they won't get from WWE, Ring of Honor? What will be the one thing that they can take away from HOH on this Saturday?
Well, first of all, I've been blessed with, and it's something I don't care, if I had an event as big as WrestleMania and had people attending as just as big as WrestleMania, I will never, ever stop doing fan meet and greets. I have been blessed to hear stories of people who told me how myself or how ECW has affected their lives, and that fan interaction, unfortunately, you don't really get that in WWE, just because, even they do have the fan access, but it's, a huge line. People sit there and, it's on to the next one. I love that experience, and I want people, man, a lot of people are unhappy with what's going on, in the world, in the sense of, there's a lot of turmoil about the president, all this stuff. I literally want you to forget about everything that's going on and just have a good time. And at the end, just say, wow, that was a kick-ass show. And if it was your first time, I want you to be like, oh, I'm going to check them out the next time. And that's really, that's all I got. And for me, they're going to, I wrestle every match like it's going to be my last, because I know one day it will be. And I go out still at 45 years old, and I give it my all. I kind of screwed myself because I have Terry Funk as my mentor, and he's still wrestling in his 70s. I don't want to be doing that. But Terry Funk taught me a lot of just go, it's work ethic. And, I know people work very, very hard for their money. I'm a father of twins that just found out I needed to get braces for two of them, and that's $12,000. And it's,
wow.
Wrestling to me is better than a movie, because if you go to a movie, you can yell at the screen, but they'll ask you to be quiet or kick you out, and in wrestling, we'll yell back at you. It's better than live theater. It's better than football, baseball, just because of the fan interaction. And, when people come to my show, I'm proud of it, and I just want people to have a good time. And so far, I've been blessed that that's happened through 23 events.
Love that answer, Tommy. And it's also better than the NFL, because when y'all celebrate and have fun, you don't have to worry about any excessive celebration fines, any yellow flags, or anything like that.
Yeah, that is stupid, by the way. And you also won't freeze your butts off because the building has heat.
Right. I want to say real quick, I don't speak a lot personally as myself, but I will say firstly, Tommy, I thank you for being a great guy. You may not remember, you don't know if you see me. You introduced yourself to me. We were backstage at an indie event in Pennsylvania at a couple events. You was eating a turkey sandwich. We had the same sandwich. And you were standing next to Robbie E. and believe me, your good buddy. And you ate the turkey sandwich, wiped your hand off, and said, "Hey, I'm Tommy Dreamer." No, I'm like, "This is Tommy Dreamer. You don't have to introduce yourself to me. I'm, you the man." So I said, "Hello," introduce myself. I'm Evan, and we talked like you would thought we knew each other for a couple of minutes. You went and did what you had to do in the back over your match. So that meant a lot to me, because I like to see that. A lot of ECW originals that we're friends with, Carino and T-Code, the guys you see bleeding and stuck pigs on TV, end up being some of the nicest guys. People, to talk to fans and open to fans and help fans out. We've seen it a lot, so we want to commend you, because we've seen a lot of some veterans that aren't so nice, that blow fans off, that cancel meet and greets early because he wanted to go home, not mentioning names. So I just want to commend you personally as a wrestling fan still, and professionally as this, that you've always went out your way with the fans. You talk to me, and you talk to a lot of other fans, and you've never turned the fan down. We've seen you sweating from a match, and you get bleeding, and you hugging fans and taking pictures. So we just want to give you a big up, for that, because you don't see that much. You don't.
That. And shocking that I was eating, but no. Well, one, I'm a fan, and I could talk wrestling or talk with fans about wrestling. I watch everything, man. Like, I got 3 TiVos, mine set for SmackDown tonight. I'm going to make a lot of mean tweets towards James Ellsworth. And but I'm a fan, too. And when it talks about interaction, it's a whole other time and place. Here you guys, you got, 4 people on the line. We're a bunch of wrestling fans, and we could sit there and talk about wrestling till, the end of the time, as well as I remember as a little kid when Bob Backlund blew me off, and he was my hero. And he blew me off, and I was devastated. And I never forgot how I felt because of it. And, I also remember when the first time I saw Dusty Rhodes, and I literally thought I saw God walking on earth. And I've always remembered that. And a lot of that, when you talk about the ECW guys, it was kind of bred into us because we were the little engine that could. And it's, man, how many years since it's been gone? We just did that ECW Untold. We were trending on Twitter. Every time I walk out, people talk about, they chant ECW. It's part of my legacy. It's part of and I'm proud of it. So, that's cool. And if it wasn't for the fans, there would be no Tommy Dreamer. And if I wasn't, I just consider myself someone who was lucky enough to cross over into wrestling. And, I've been living my dream. Been wanting to do this since I was 9 years old. And the worst day of my life will come when I know I can no longer do this physically. But hopefully then I can entertain with House of Hardcore.
Yes, and I said apologize for the Bob Backlund rubbing you and blowing you off. Do you want to say before we let you go? So
it helped out. Maybe I would have been, if he didn't do that, maybe I wouldn't have been, a nice guy all the time. And we all get our moments. I'm not nice all the time, but I do take time because hell, I hate when I hear athletes or people who are in the media. Or they're celebrities, when you want that celebrity price, a part of the price is you give up some of your freedoms. And, that's okay with me. People always, if I'm in the grocery store, I'm even taking my kids to school, they'll stop, talk, or ask for a picture. And as long as everyone's always cool and considerate, you want to worry when people don't want your picture or don't want to talk about it. So it's all good.
Yeah, sure. Before I let you go, So from Georgia, go ahead. I know you had 2 questions. Go ahead and ask Tommy Dreamer before we let him go.
Sure. I have a question for Mr. Dreamer. They called you the innovator of violence, and you did a lot of cool, innovative stuff, hence the name, like the crossface with the barbed wire. My question is, did you just make that up on the go, or did you just, talk about that beforehand, when you were working on the match?
No, I came up with that during the 90s because everyone had a nickname. Taz was the human suplex machine. The Rock was the Brahma Bull. Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was just like, let me come up with a cool name. And I'm a crazy wrestling fan. And I've always been thinking of doing a lot of different stuff, taping a frying pan to my foot and giving the guy an enziguri, doing a lot of stuff that was never done before, or you could call it stupidity. So that's how I came up with the innovator of violence.
Okay, well, one last question then. ECW is known for its really cool, badass theme songs, and unfortunately, most of them, get edited in the network and stuff. I believe one of your themes was Man in the Box by Alice in Chains. It's one of the memorable themes in ECW. What was the creative process when you chose that theme? Like, was that your idea, or was it a Heyman thing? Are you a fan of the band? Like, what's the story behind the theme song?
If Paul Heyman ever left wrestling, he should become a music executive because he could always back then say this song is hot, this song will be good. That in particular one was me because I liked the band. I heard the lyrics, and if you listen to it, I really am the man in the box. And the ring is a square, which is in the shape of a box. And like a dog, I used to get beat up a lot. And so, yeah, if you listen to the words, they fit perfectly, just like Sandman's, Enter the Sandman. They fit.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the questions. Thank you for answering the questions, Mr. Dreamer.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Tommy, fan question. I totally forgot about this. Thank you, fan. Alice from Boston. Mr. Dreamer, always been a fan of yours. Can you please talk about the disgusting segment when you had to drink Undertaker's tobacco spit on Raw?
Yep. That was being stupid in high school. Actually got me, a lot of people talk about stuff I've done, and when you talk about WWE, a lot of people bring that up, which is, yeah, it was gross, it was real, but I got $7,000 to do it, and I got to wrestle The Undertaker about 3-4 times. So I think anyone might do the same.
out of all the I'm not going to say disgusting. Sorry, Alice did mention disgusting. Out of all the, you would say, crazy things that you've done, ECW, WWE, what would you rank that at? Name your top 5. Where would you put the tobacco spit, Taker's tobacco, in the craziest things that you've done?
That was pretty rough. Plus, it was live television. The scaffold match back in the day was pretty crazy for a lot of reasons. 1, Sandman made it. 2, I was afraid of heights. 3, Brian Lee choked me with the electrical power for the entire building, and at the end of the match, the guy told us that he does not know how we were not both electrocuted to death on the top of that scaffold. The scaffold swayed. I don't know. I've done a lot of stupid things. Walking into buildings and be like, oh, I'm going to get chokeslammed from there or there. That was pretty crazy. Drinking Raven's blood, that was very, very crazy, but I was hardcore. I could not get hepatitis or AIDS. I've done, again, I don't get grossed out. I have had people, drop a hot dog and then step on and then I'll eat it, being stupid, or, hell, when you're in high school, you got to try to make some money and put something in your mouth and eat it. I was that kid. But, hey, people remember it.
$7,000 for drinking Taker's tobacco.
Yeah, on television. You'd do it. Come on now. You know you would.
Hey, I haven't really done a lot of crazy things in my life. I've done some, but you take the cake. So you challenge me, I actually would do it. Definitely so. I want to say before.
Hang on, there's a story. When I was doing all that stuff, I just told this story today. I was doing a TV show, and they were talking about the importance of getting people to sign releases. And I did a segment when I was doing that. And I set up a Tommy Dreamer's lemonade stand in it was either St. Louis or Kansas City, and we did it in the men's bathroom. And, we set up all this yellow-looking fluid, and people were drinking it. And they were like, is this pee? Is this pee? And then some dude came up and said, I will drink your pee. And then I had another guy said, if I'm on TV, I will drink your pee. So then another person said it. So I seriously turned around, peed in a cup, 3 men, and then split it up in between 3 men. They watched me pee in a cup, and I handed it to them, and they drank my pee just to be on television. And the segment never aired on television because they didn't get those guys' releases. But think of that. You wouldn't see that in the new WWE. But people would have been talking about, man, those guys who drank your pee, as opposed to people when you ate when you drank the Undertaker's spit. The worst I did that time was doing my own hair, because when I was getting a haircut, because I had hair follicles in my teeth for about a month. That was gross. I blew the line and puke. Besides that, we're good.
All the things you saying seem like you got your own little Saul moments with different things you would do. You got piss, you got tobacco spit. Well, the hashtag take us tobacco. Is there any fluid? You drunk blood, you drink blood, you had take us tobacco spit. There's hair. Is there any? Is there a limit with you to it? And a lot of people say ill Tommy or Tommy Skimmerlake is the shit. ECW legend. Blood, piss. Is there any hair, not hair, but like bodily fluids you won't do, whether it be feces? Is there any limit that you won't do? Do you have a limit? Or you just like whatever?
Like I said, I wouldn't do pee, poop, or vomit. I mean, I'd be perfect for that show, Fear Factor, back in the day when you had to drink the monkey brains and all that stuff. I just, I once ate live sushi when I was in Japan because Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Tommy Rogers, and another wrestler were basically there to see if I could do it. And it straight up tasted like somebody spit in my mouth, and it was gushy, and I was just like, ugh. But I did it. So, you got to draw the line somewhere. Plus, I'm getting old now. I can't be doing stupid stuff, and I have children. Come on now.
Oh yeah, of course. You gotta keep around Father Tommy. Adorable kids, by the way. But I want to say this too. The ECW Unauthorized it just was on the network a few weeks ago. You was on the set. You, of course, Paul Heyman, Taz, and the Dudley Boys. I will say that I commend you for it. Was very emotional, and I always feel any man, we're all men, we're all very prideful. Any man that don't mind showing their emotions on camera, and the fact that you had tears in your eyes, and Heyman cried, and Taz was humble. How much work went into ECW and the legacy? I want to commend you for that, because we know a lot of people would have tried to edit it or won't cry on live TV, but the fact that you showed your emotions and you've done it before, and
everything to me is real, man. It totally is, and trust me, that was an edited version. I think also when you said to me, I do a lot of these interviews, and that was the first time we've all been together since ECW One Night Stand 2005, which, when you're together with these guys all the time, and then, that was one, me and Paul, and, I've said it, Paul screwed me over like no other person ever has, but like I said before, if Bob Backlund didn't do what he did, I wouldn't be the person, or if, even me, I stayed in ECW longer than the owner, and, we've had it out, but Paul deserves all the credit in the world for it. And, it was the best time of people's lives. And like I said, I've learned a lot about myself and why I am the way I am because I experienced loss. A lot of people have told me, again, like I said, about what ECW meant, blah, 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 blah. ECW didn't have to go away, but it did. But when you experience loss, it was like a death to me because one day you're on top of the world, next day you're unemployed. And, when you experience something like that, it's heartbreaking. And, most people look at this where, I'll just go somewhere else, or I go, if ECW was around today, I'd still be there. But there'd be no House of Hardcore, there'd be no nothing. So I've learned from my life experiences, but because of that, that's who I am. So that's why it's still real to me, damn it.
It is. You said it was the edited version. Can you tell us a little bit of the unedited version? Was there more tears flowing? How was the mode? And I know it was good to see Taz be on WWE TV again. Devon and Bubba talking passionately. How was the unedited version? If it was anything different from what we got to see?
I actually have not watched it, but I know the end was different. We actually went off the air, all of us fighting, which was pretty funny, because Paulie started thinking about Brock Lesnar, and then Bubba was like, "You're going to end an ECW thing talking about Brock Lesnar," and I said, "Who cares about Brock Lesnar? I'll fight him for real, or I'll fight him in UFC, or I'll fight him in WWE. Who gives a shit?" And then Devon was like, yeah, I know, Paulie, what the hell? And Paulie was trying to wrap it back up to Brock Lesnar, and we were all then just like, yelling at Paul like we always used to do. So it was kind of, and they were just like, you guys can stop whenever you want, and then we're just yelling at Paul.
Well, to let you know what, and it's not really a spoiler, to let you know what did transpire, and a lot of fans now hit me up laughing, was they did the close-up on Paul having the tears on his face. You had your eyes was teary. And you was talking, Taz was talking passionately about how much Paul did and how much ECW meant. Now, the last thing that we saw was when Paul Heyman did mention, as a reminder, Brock Lesnar, blah, blah, blah. You see Bubba Ray mention, really, Paul, you're going to end it with Brock Lesnar. Devon laughs, and that's when they edited to where Corey Graves ended it. So you mentioned about Brock, didn't make the air. And everything else didn't make the cut.
I try to get booked in UFC. Right. I'd fight Brock for real. I'll fight anybody for real. I don't care. If you beat me up, cool. I'll just make that payday. And if I beat you, then it's a whole other world for me.
It is. Well, Tommy, it's been a pleasure. It's been great having you on the show, on our show. Hopefully we can have you again. Things go well. We will see you this Saturday in Joplin, Maryland, at the ECW Arena. House of Hardcore 23. He's almost at 35 with the Clash of the Champions. Almost at 35.
I'm going to beat it. That's my demolition number. I like it.
Yes, it is. So, Tommy, it's been a pleasure. Go ahead and plug everything that you need to right now for House of Hardcore for Friday and Saturday.
For me, if you want, I'm very socially active on Twitter. I'm the Tommy Dreamer. House of Hardcore is House of Hardcore on Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook. I'm the Tommy Dreamer across the board. The website's houseofhardcore.net. If you can't make it live, watch it on FlowSlam and tell me what you think, because I love the feedback. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who's always supported me, and I just want to show you guys something different. And I love you. Thank you.
I love you, Tommy. Thanks. We'll hopefully see you on Saturday. Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Everybody, that was the innovator of violence, ECW legend, hopefully soon to be WWE Hall of Famer, former WWE superstar, Tommy Dreamer. Toph, you're still on live. Toph, want to give your thoughts as well as